Yeah.
Since I came late, where is this?
Whose fault is that? I didn't. Well,
I think you started early.
Oh, maybe I started early.
Where is that?
This is here.
No, where?
This is the Zimmermann site, which is
Oh, the
located.
Zimmermann site, okay.
Yes, it's located 6 miles below Milford, on toward the river.
I have to take.
I said there were about 4 levels. We will be able to see some of them more distinct in a bit. One level is directly under the plow zone. At that point in time, in this area here, there was about 12 inches of soil before you got undisturbed occupation, except for a groundhogger too. Okay? This says level 2. Level 2 did not cover the entire area. Level 3 is over here. Level 4 is down here. Distance from top to bottom was around 36 inches, 3 feet. All right.
Right.
Every artifact that came out of there was cataloged, you know, depth and other horizontal location. We were lucky. That's a bonus. But we did not expect, Dave didn't expect, level 4. It turned out to be, we also have a carbon date on that, and the carbon date on level 4 was 1620 BC, which is pre-pottery, pre any kind of pottery. Topsoil, right there. If we go down about 12 inches, we see this black stain here.
Yeah.
That's called a midden. It's a place where people walk back and forth and back and forth. Now, you realize the footwear wasn't the same. In fact, there may not have been much footwear. But the charcoal from the fires still got on the feet and whatever. So they walked back and forth along here. And that left a nice deep stain, a nice dark stain that you know they were there. Here's a close-up of a hearth. One type of hearth. In other words, that's where the fire was. Now, you don't find artifacts in the fire. They're usually found around the outside. There was a dog burial, one dog burial. This was important in that, if you notice, this is the pit outline, and you notice the dog was placed in there nice and gently. Therefore, the conclusion is, this is not a hedge against starvation. This was a pet. Several different types of points. Not all one type of point. So this was made out of an igneous rock. Others were made out of argillite, which is a shale. A drill. That was a bit unexpected down at level 4, but there it was. Okay, and this is a piece of flint that has a rework into a graver. It's the name it's called. I don't know, maybe they made buttonholes. This is a summation of the last ones. These are level 4. These are Susquehanna points. These are Dry Brook Fishtail Points. They were named for this site. They named them. It is a subtype or a different type from the Orient Fishtail Point, which is farther up. The difference between the Dry Brook and the Orient Fishtail is the fact that they have a broader shoulder. This is a variation for Dry Brook, from that size to this size. It's important to the overall picture of archaeology to have a point like this named for your area. You know, science is built up on bits and pieces of things. This is a bit or a piece. here is the important reason for this. This is a soapstone vessel.
Soapstone.
Ah, yes.
That's not indigenous to here, is it?
No.
It's Asian.
Well, they could have it from the Virginias. They could also go to Philadelphia area. But if you know anything about this, soapstone is pretty heavy. I mean, it's a variety of chalk, but it's, instead of being 1 on Mohs scale, it's 1.5. So it's reasonably soft. You can scratch it with your fingernail, in other words. The bottom was very thick, and you can tell by scraping it back and forth across the stones in the fire that the bottom would eventually wear out. So these were precious items to these people, so they would hold them together as long as they could. The drill holes are there, and if they had sinew or whatever to tie it together, they made their own string. It's another piece of soapstone that was left and made into a cup, whatever you want to call it. There are a lot of people that will go out and find these things, and like the ones I showed you for the 3rd level, they call them arrowheads. No sir, not in your life. The bow and arrow didn't come to our area until around 500 AD. Now it was all over the world, but it wasn't here. So these are spear points. And for the politician who thinks he wants to be right all the time, they are projectile points.
Decoration.
There's a face.
Yeah.
That's some of the last type of pottery, I guess, that was in this area. Kind of give you an idea of how the pottery evolved. You start out with level 4, no pottery. Level 3, soapstone pottery. Level 2, some clay pottery with some decorations and very likely coiling. Looked like a beehive, what we call it. And then as we go along, we go from this to sphere. That gives you an idea of the evolution of pottery from 1600 BC up to 1600, let's say. This is the only piece of pottery I have left. It's one of the later designs here. It's got nice incising up here. This is nice and smooth. And here you can see the chord marking.
The thickness is extraordinary, but it's so thin.
Good clay.
Yeah.
The plow zone, and out pops this thing. It's a drill. I said to my friend, I says, I got a drill, I'm going home. She says, no, you're not. Go back and see what else you can find. Well, next shovelful, out comes this pendant.
No, really?
Yeah, this was used, I assume, which is not good, but anyhow, it was right next to it. It was probably the drill that was used to make that hole.
Oh, it's so smooth.
Yeah,
What kind of stone is that?
well, it's very fine-grained siltstone. You know, you got sandstone, and the pieces get smaller and smaller, then you get siltstone, they get smaller and smaller. And if they go smaller and smaller, then you get that. From this side, it looks like an ordinary pestle. But if you turn it over, there is an effigy. And we have the 2 eyes and the mouth. And this is a celt. These things are all up here with labels. And this is something that they might haft, tie on a stick, and use as an axe. Okay.